see what happens there. What's up, Nick? How's it going?
It is going all right on this gloomy Saturday after we done had 80-degree weather 2 days in a row.
80 degree weather in Ohio, lovely people. Can you believe
Exactly.
that? Hey, different states had I was shocked with yesterday with 80 degrees, because before that it was like 66. Maryland was like at 80. I don't know what's going on. What you think? What's going on, Nick?
You know Ohio got that bipolar weather. This is the only state where you wake up in the wintertime. By noon, you in spring. By the evening, well, actually, by noon, you in summer. Evening, you in spring. And then you back in fall late at night. So it's all crazy.
It's all
crazy.
Hilarious. But you're right. You are right. You are totally right. Roogle, what's happening? How you
Hey. Oh, we live, ready to go, huh?
Oh,
yes,
always.
Yeah, I don't know. It took me a while to get on. I don't know what was going on.
Well, don't worry about it. You on, because we live everywhere.
We live.
We live. We got the listening audience already on, so we are doing it. Just come on in the room.
Can you dig it?
Hey, let's jump right into these hot topics. Let's jump right into it. We got a great show planned. Let's go. So, did y'all hear about the pastor who was tired of the awful singing at his church, that he turned, listen, wait a minute. If you didn't, let me school you. Let me catch you up on it. He turned around during, I guess it was an A selection. This is me and my annex, you know. A selection, you know, you get your A and B selection. And he turned around and he said, hold it. Hold it. You are not an expert singer. Now, now wait. I thought that was a nice way to say it, but during morning service, like, it's showtime. It's showtime. It's the time, you know what I'm saying? Y'all done went to rehearsal on Saturday. That's what we used to do. I don't know if they're doing it with the COVID, if they're doing it virtually, however they're doing it. And the pastor turned around and said, hold it, hold it. You are not an expert singer. I'm tired of the same people jumping up there singing these solos, and you're not an expert singer. Let me see that. I got lipstick on my teeth. Oh man, that ain't cute. Messing with some old lipstick. I tried some old lipstick today that I found in my makeup bag.
Oh shoot.
Yeah,
I got all kinds of old lipstick.
It's like Play-Doh.
No, ladies, you know we're really supposed to replace our makeup every 3 months. Ask me if we do that. Listen, the makeup artists, yeah, I know they do. Somebody like me, I had that stuff for years.
That's probably why. You remember those little tiny lipstick samples?
Yes.
That's what this tastes like. It tastes like that. I'm like, what is I got like lipstick on my teeth. That is not the move. Sorry, listening audience. Y'all already know how I do it. In true Shop Talk fashion. Like, wait, what's that? So what would you do if you're in church and the pastor just stopped right in the middle of the A selection and say, excuse me, stop it. He has had enough. What would you do?
See, if I was in the audience, in the congregation.
There we go. I'm like, I just at a concert.
If I was in the congregation, me and my little ignorant self, I'd probably be somewhere with tears in my eyes, slumped in my seat, cracking up. If I was in the choir, I would be appalled.
Yeah, because if you're in the choir, you can't say nothing. You're just sitting there, everybody looking. You got to hold a straight face.
No, you can just read us like that.
All right, Roogle, what would you do?
You know what? I think when you pull a move like that, it's bad. I don't know what I would do, but I think I would be kind of I would kind of be upset with the pastor about that.
If you was a choir director?
I mean, if it just as being in the audience, you know what I mean? Just as being a member of that church or a visitor. If I was a visitor, I would damn sure be like, this is my last time here. Let me give y'all about $5 in that tithes and offering, and I'm out. You know, I'm never coming back. You know what I mean? But because it's just like it's a judgmental heart there, and the scripture says make a joyful noise. You know, it doesn't say that noise has to be in sync to to two with
Y'all can only see my face.
I'm just saying. I'm just
Y'all
saying.
listeners, that's all.
Make a
They probably
joyful
know how
noise.
my face is. Go ahead.
Make a joyful noise is what it say. You know what I mean? And, you know, I mean. So
Don't
those
sound like
people,
that was joyful.
well,
Joyful.
I mean, the heart. What they say, the heart of the person behind. You know, because guess what? If they terrible, they the best you got because ain't nobody else doing it, right? And that's a mission in itself. So why would he, you know, talk bad about the mission they had in their heart to bring the spirit of worship of God and you know, I'm assuming this was a Christian church because I don't see any other church doing this. It's always those good old Christians. They'll let you know how they feel. Then they say, bless they heart, bless they heart.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's too much. Now, what if he went up there with the scripture and he probably said some whack something once or twice, and somebody just said, "Hold up, stop! I don't know none of that stuff you talking about." Because we all been in a church service where the preacher go and say some stuff that you be like, "What are you referencing?"
Okay, let me
Right?
say this. Let me say this to that. To that point, let me speak to that point. My uncle did that. My uncle did that. He stopped the pastor. He was like, "That is not true. That is not true," during the service. So some people are honest, but now if a pastor, you said that would be if you were visiting the church and the pastor turned around and said that you would, that's your last visit. Here go my $5 contribution. I'm done.
Yeah, that's
on the other
embarrassing.
hand, y'all know how I do. I'm like, I'll be back. This pastor is off the hook. I will be back for some live entertainment. No,
Right.
Roogle shaking his head. No,
it is not Jerry Springer.
Listen, wait.
Springer. It is not.
I go to my church and then I go to that church for entertainment. I go to early morning service in my church and I go over there and be like, what is he about to say?
See, he trying to get a reality show. That's all he trying to do.
That's what he's trying to do. Right. You're
With
right.
all that trash, come on, either VH1 or something. He trying to be on MTV Road Wars for preachers or something. I don't know what he's doing. You know,
He's here Road Wars for preachers. You know what?
You know, I mean, come on, man. That is, it's a little extra special, man. That just, I don't know. I ain't with it.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. He should have been there at rehearsal and then pulled him to the side at rehearsal. Like, listen, it's the same folks getting up every Sunday singing, and you be off key. I need y'all to get that together at rehearsal. Don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but the thing is too, though, you know, he should be recruiting more people. I mean,
right?
You got to get more people involved and stuff like that. But
it's hard to get people in the choir. It really is.
Yeah, because you got dudes like him. You got dudes like him talking about, hold on, I'm gonna shut this whole production down like he James Brown or something. You know, ain't nobody come and put no cape over that dude when he done preaching. Come on,
listen. Right. When you got members that swear for down, they Shirley Caesar and Vicky Winans and all them. Nah, baby, sit down. Sit down. You are not Pastor Shirley.
They may have had it back in the day, and then they lost it along the way.
I've witnessed that. I've ear witnessed that. You know, back in the day, I've seen a couple of them things. You be like, what was like? People be like, oh, let me go get such and such to come sing at the funeral.
Oh no.
Because they knew it when they was young. They get up there and they be like, what in the world? Like, nah, man. Like we get, I mean, but it's a joyful noise. It's a joyful noise. But
Listen,
you know.
That's joyful. True. I don't know about noise, yeah.
I went to a wedding, right? This wedding was absolutely beautiful. I'm just there. I'm there. I'm a guest. I'm enjoying all of it. This singer starts singing, and he was singing. Well, y'all know how I feel about John Legend. Anyway, I'll be like, oh, sleep. But the song was All of Me. And the people in his era, I guess he was like the bomb back in the day. They was like, oh, he could sing. Oh, he could sing. This cat hit the all of me. I can't even listen. It was worse than me singing. Y'all know I cannot get down. Okay. But I think I would have been all right. He sang that song and he started with the all of me. He hit wrong key. I was like, and I had my head like down because John Legend put me to sleep. And I heard the music. I was like, here we go, this elevator music. And when we started singing, it woke me right up. I said, and listen, this is what the people was whispering. The peepus, shout out to Joe Teague. The peepus was witnessing, they was whispering, and I was witnessing this. Oh, he used to be able to sing. He could sing back in high school. He got a head full of gray hair. Y'all should have had a rehearsal. What happened? It was terrible. All of me was, I will never look at all of me the same. Now, there was one guy, I'll never forget, speaking of that, back in high school that sang, I'll Be Sure. I ain't gonna say his name because we still cool. He might be mad after, we might not be cool after this show. But he sang, I Can Tell You How I Feel About You Night and Day. He hit that last note and he tried to keep it going. Singing it, holding it. Passed right out. Passed right out on the stage. You shouldn't have held that note. And see, I'm so animated. I need a TV show because then I could go over there. Look, I'm looking down. Oh, he out. What happened? Trying to hold the note because y'all, people like you guys, encouraging him, like, yeah.
Right.
They showing up for everybody. They're like, yeah, he's still holding the note. Everybody cheering them on. Passed right out, but laid flat out on that stage.
That's crazy.
They're like, is he dead? Is he dead? What happened? Oh, a mess. See that people like y'all encourage that stuff.
Listen, I had a bad experience in my first wedding. I got two people that I know can sing.
Okay.
Well, three people. One, she decided to go to a baby shower the day of my wedding, even though she was at rehearsal the night before. I want to choke the life out that child. But the other two, they practice, you know, and everybody in town know they can sing. Mm-hmm. Why did they get up there in my wedding? And I was in the back room. When they first started singing, my eyes got this big. I was snapping back there in that back room. Everybody was trying to calm me down. I was like, what is they doing? Well, girl, they sound like chickens being choked.
So at that moment, would you turn around and say, I thought you were an expert singer? Like,
I didn't turn around and say nothing because I was in the back room.
You were in the back room, but did you want to say it? Did you want to say it?
Child, I wanted to say it. I asked him afterwards. I said, what happened? What you got? Y'all practice all night. What happened? Y'all sounded horrible. They was mad at me. I don't care. Y'all ruined my wedding. Because I had a couple cousins like, where did you find them from?
So it wasn't just you, because, you know, sometimes like when you get up in the morning for church and I guess it's that phlegm to be laying on that vocal cord. And look at Roogle shaking his head off. But you know how you would be like, is it my ears? Do I have early morning ears? Or is it the early morning voice? You can't tell what it is. You know what I mean? It'd be early in the morning in church and you'd be sitting there and you'd be like, why they sound like that? Because their voice hadn't got there yet.
So they ain't had no excuse.
So what time was your wedding?
My wedding started at 3.
Oh, yeah. That was done. Yeah, that was good.
A couple of my cousins were like, Nikki, I know doggone well you didn't ask them to. I was like, y'all, I ain't lying. They can really sing. I was like, that's why I asked them. Otherwise, it would have been somebody else. They can really, but when they got up there,
sing that day?
Child, listen, they couldn't do nothing that day. Couldn't listen. Like I said, it sounded like they was choking the chicken. For real. I was sitting there in the back, almost broke out in tears. I was so mad. I was like, oh, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him after this.
Was it video?
Somebody probably got a video somewhere.
Oh, man, I like to hear that.
Somebody probably got a video somewhere. I'd have to find out who, but yeah. I was upset.
Oh,
In fact, I gotta find the tape because the church usually, churches they'll usually record. Back in the day, it was the cassette tapes. So I gotta find the little cassette tape because it's on tape. I just gotta find it. As a matter of fact, girl, listen, I was heated.
So how do you tell somebody that they can't sing? Do you not? Roogle clearly feels as though that the pastor should have had a meeting or something.
No, she said that. I think the pastor.
Yeah, I said it.
Oh, you said that? Okay.
Yeah. I think if the pastor ain't up there willing to do no solos himself, he need to sit his ass behind that pulpit and just preach.
Now you know a lot of pastors like to sing solos.
But
a lot of pastors like to get up there and sound horrible themselves.
Hey, that's true too. But I'm saying, like, I mean, because let's look at it like this. Most people in choirs, they volunteering. You know what I mean? They volunteer.
It's a ministry.
Not only they volunteering, they also paying tithes that pay his salary.
So he can't tell them the truth. So
I mean, he could tell them the truth, but I wouldn't be trying to embarrass people, and that's what I think. That's what the intent was.
I don't know how bad it. Well, you know what? I do know how bad it was. You can find this on YouTube. It was bad. They looked the part, but it was bad. It was bad.
Well, I mean,
their robes was cold though. The robes was cold.
Yeah. So they got a Dallas Cowboy problem.
Listen, that's the colors of the robes.
Wow.
You sure you ain't see it?
You don't know. I ain't see it, but I just thought about like teams that just imploded, and I just said like that sounds like a Dallas Cowboy problem. Like they got on paper how it look on paper, they should be winning a whole bunch of games. Granted, their quarterback is out, but still, they roster. You would think like, oh, okay, and then it's like, nah. So is it the coach?
It's like psych.
Yeah. So I guess the issue is if he had an issue with how they sound, he should have took it up with the director of the choir.
Yeah, after.
True,
because he's not gonna be at rehearsal. But now, how do you tell your pastor, if you have a pastor that always want to sing a solo that can't sing? How do you tell him that he can't sing?
You got some of them old bold mothers like Sister Betty that will tell you. They'll tell you, Pastor, come on now, baby, you know you can preach, Pastor. You know you can preach, Pastor, but please, baby, just Pastor, don't sing, please. Just leave that to the choir.
Leave that to the choir. Just call it a day, huh? All right, let's move on to what broke the internet. The 3-year-old birthday girl. Now, if you did not see this, let me catch you up to speed. It was a birthday party. The little baby was turning 3 years old. It was another little girl at the birthday party that was right next to her. Now, let me catch you up. And what ended up happening is when they were singing happy birthday, and the 3-year-old whose birthday party it was, went to blow out her candles, but the little girl on her right blew out the candles. That little 3-year-old snatched that girl by her hair. She was serious. Now, see, that hair snatch, it had history behind it. So I kept saying, she's only 3? Man. And then, look, I'm like, if you snatching her like that, like if she done blew out her candles, thank God they ain't 33. It could be something different. You know what I mean? We don't know where it's going to go. Look at Nick's eyes. However, I thought they looked a lot alike. Well, guess what? Sisters.
Yep.
Sisters, because I'm looking at their outfits. I said they had the same kind of shorts, but they looked alike. The little 3-year-old, her hair was pulled back. The other one was just down. And the way that she blew them candles out, she shrugged her shoulders like whatever.
Yes, she did.
I said,
and that's why her little sisters tried to snatch the soul out of her body.
I feel like she told her that. I feel like she told her, I'm gonna blow out your birthday candles. Did you see it, Roogle? It broke the internet.
It sure did. Where you been?
What you think about that? How would you have responded if you were there, Nick?
Probably the same way. She would have got hit. I'd have gave her a 2-piece, but that little girl did one better. tried to snatch the soul out of her sister's body. I said, you can tell when they grow up which one is going to be the it starter, minus HT, because we, laugh.
Mhm.
And which one is going to be the enforcer. That little 3-year-old is going to be the enforcer. She going to be whooping some behind.
Listen.
You could tell by the way she snatched the girl up. And even after they broke them apart, that little girl turned around and flipped her little hair. She snatched her again.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I said, no, there's history behind that. That wasn't just a guest at the birthday party.
Did you see the little happy birthday picture session that I posted?
No, I didn't see any of that. I'm sure the listening audience hadn't seen that either. But I'll have to check it out, and I'll post it on the page.
This must have been
that's listening
these
can hear
pictures
it.
were taken pre-snatch.
Oh, and you know what? They had a lot of memes with the two little girls. They had the birthday girl talk about my plans, and then they had the girl that blew out the candles. 2020.
2020.
COVID,
yeah.
2020. I just started out. I was like, yeah, you be ready with your plans. And they just blew them out like, no, this is what we are going to do. All right, let's talk about the bucket list. Do you have a bucket list, Nick?
Yes, I do.
How many things on your bucket list do you know offhand?
Let me see. Probably like 5 to 10.
Okay.
I'm always adding, subtracting stuff.
Never subtract from your bucket list.
Well, no, I take that back. I did do one thing on my bucket list, and that was to get on a cruise ship, because I always swore I would never get on a cruise. I don't know how to swim. I said, that's too much water for me to drink, and I don't eat fish. I got on the cruise, and it was like, I was actually in a moving hotel. The only time you could tell it's moving if it was like the waters, it was a little bit choppy. And really, even standing outside watching, like standing outside just looking, you could not tell that the ship was moving. You can't feel it like that unless the water is really, really, really choppy. But I enjoyed myself, so I want to do it again. But yeah, I have several things. There's places in the United States that I really want to go that's on my bucket list because I've never been. I want to go. I have family overseas, born and raised.
So traveling is one.
Definitely.
And you still have yet to accomplish those. But you being a travel agent, you'll be able to do it.
Right. And then also another thing that's always been on my bucket list since I was younger, I don't care if I'm 90 years old. I'm going to be on The Young and the Restless. That was always on my bucket list. I want to be on The Young and the Restless.
Well, you better hurry up because I don't know how long they're going to be on there. But you're on your way. Go ahead. What'd you say?
By the time she gonna get on there, she's gonna be Aunt Mamie. She's gonna be the rebirth.
I'll be that. I will be that.
Like Aunt Mamie came back.
I'll be that. But that was on my bucket list. I always said that I want to be a character on The Young and the Restless. Even if it's a walk-in character for a day, I don't care. I want to be on The Young and the Restless.
So you want to...
Wait, go ahead, Roogle. What were you calling?
You want to be in the colonnade room? You want to go to the colonnade room?
You know who watched The Young and the Restless?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I used to watch it back in the day. With
your grandma?
With pretty much everybody. But the most fun I had when I was in college, we used to watch it.
In college?
Right before,
wait a minute. In college, guys watch the soap operas?
Hey, everybody. Well, you figure like, okay, first of all, I went to a small private liberal arts school. So it wasn't too much of like entertainment. Like when I went to college, when I went to other colleges and they was like, oh, we got cable. I was like, you got what? You're like, how? You know, I remember when I went to school, you had to, if you wanted to call home, you had to buy like a card to call. You know what I mean? It wasn't no cell phones or nothing like that, really. I guess I'm dating myself. But the point was that like in our common area, there was like one television. And we had some friends that would commandeer the television to watch two things, Young and the Restless and Martin.
Oh, yeah? You know, we did have a common area. Martin we watched. Nick, I don't know. When we was in college, we were watching it Young and the Restless.
You ain't watch Young and
No,
the
we
Restless?
had
We
cable.
were
in
the Young
college.
and the Restless.
Y'all was the Young and the Restless. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, we kicked it. And look at you sitting there just watching it. Oh, Rule, you
Hey.
just came on our way. We kicked it.
Sure did.
So much. I probably shouldn't even be putting this out there gambling.
Man, we did all kinds of stuff. In my college, listen, there was this guy that was an expert at making fake IDs. I was like, how you make a fake ID? Listen, and he had big poster boards with different states painted on it. And the one he was from Indiana, and he was from Indiana, so he had it perfectly. So I was like, let me get that one. You would stand in front of that big poster board where the picture part was. They would take a Polaroid picture, they would cut it out and laminate it. They laminated it, cut it and make it look just like that. Cause when I went to go use it at a club, I was afraid. Listen, I was not even 19 yet. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get caught. I'm gonna get caught. I'm gonna get caught. Oh boy looked at it, then he looked at me, then he looked at me. He said, okay, you go ahead. Listen, old boy made money in college making fake IDs. That's how they was making fake IDs back then. And I know they a lot more advanced now with making them, but yeah, we did.
Roogle, did you have a fake ID?
Nah.
Oh, look at Roogle. See, that's why Roogle is on the show. We need to balance. Look at that.
Fake ID.
Listen.
Model citizen.
Young and the Restless in the commons area. And he don't have a fake ID. I did not get a fake ID made. Shout out to my cousin, Teresa Rice. I used to go get hers. Shout out to Margaret Jones. I used to go get hers. It was in Cleveland, like what? Boom. This was it. I didn't get one made. I used to just use theirs. But now I'm saying, look, now at this age, I wish my child would. She graduated college, but I'd be like, what? You're not using my ID. Are you crazy?
Right.
And my cousins was the bomb.
I even used my fake ID when I came home for college and visit. And I wanted to go to the VFW and stuff. Now, too many people in there knew me. I sure did use my fake ID to get in there and got in there and party too.
I got a problem. Did you say the VFW in college? Who's going the VFW? That's for old people.
Yeah, when I came home from college during the summer, I sure did go in because I wanted to go in there with everybody else.
Listen. It's for old people now at our age. Like, who want to be in college going to the VFW?
Well, see, our VFW in Farrell was popping. It didn't matter what age you was. The VFW and the Elks. That's why we always had folks from Youngstown over there.
Listen, talk about Youngstown, Ohio, lovely listening audience. But listen, when you break down and you have letters is the name of your club, that's for senior citizens. See, we was like the Flash, the Mirage. You know, when you got fancy names, then you go. But when you start breaking down to letters, see, old people, they be like, I ain't got time to say veterans. What's it? Veterans of War? What is the VFW?
Veterans of War.
Veterans of Foreign War?
Foreign War, yeah.
There you go with the VFW. When you start breaking down alphabet, that means y'all too old for me to be kicking it with. I need something suave. What was y'all club?
We ran the old folks out.
What was your, oh, them old folks was mad too. What was your club, Roogle?
What's that?
The Stratus.
Oh, that was a teenage place though.
That was it though. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a teenage place. I'm trying to think like places, like you said, places I was in that I shouldn't have been in. I remember I got into Larry's. Larry's.
Larry's, not L-Y.
But I mean, I was over the drinking age, but I wasn't Larry's age because they was
Larry's age.
Yeah, you know, you had to be like 49 to get in there or something like that. You remember how that used to be? Like all the clubs,
we still can't get in.
It'd be like, yeah, still can't get in, right? If it was, you know, but you remember how it was, they used to have the escalation on all the ages. You had to be like 35, 99, 44, you know, something like that. Ridiculous to get in.
But see, that's when you start having names, that's when you got to be a certain age and older. See, and when I say names, when you start naming after, so you got like Friends, 40 and over.
Frida's.
Larry's. You know what I'm saying? Now this
Uh-huh.
is what we doing. But when you have nice names like the Mirage, what we gonna put
Uh-huh.
the flats? The Zales. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Donzi's in Pittsburgh.
But those
Donzie.
is places. I mean,
You have to be a certain age too. See, that's a name though.
yeah, but you gotta
Uh-huh.
remember, where we at though. You know what I mean? It was it was not really good. You know,
But
there was a lot of stuff going on. Like they
club,
was trying.
club names that was over 50. So-sos. They can't even come up with the name. See, that's how old they is. They're like, you going to so-sos.
But those was the only. I mean, historically, those have been the only clubs. I mean, the only bars or whatever you want to call them.
Ringside. You going to the ringside? I ain't going to ringside unless I want to fight.
The Davidsons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing, though. I think there's been a couple new places that have popped up, right? Like flashes in the pan, you know. But
it's a club called Flashes in the Pan.
no, I'm saying the club's lifespan has been a flash in the pan. You know what I mean? Like think about it. Like what clubs over the last 3 years are still here, like or that weren't there that are, you know, what is it like? I mean, I don't know. I want to give a breakdown of all the clubs in the area, but the point is that there's been a lot more closures than openings.
Yeah.
It
Folks
happens.
don't know that.
But you look at the generation. Like, I don't want to kick it with them. So now I understand, friends.
Yeah.
Larry's. I get it now. I get it. I didn't get it back then. The breakout.
Yeah. The breakout.
Remember the breakout? Listen, I used to like to watch the strip. Let me get in the breakout. My girl Latrell was able to get in the breakout. But then you look at it, you be like, oh, the breakout. I probably shouldn't go there. Partner. And you know I'm so commercial. So partners, I felt like, oh, you have to have a partner to go in the partners. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that was my spot.
What, partners?
When I first started coming over here hanging out, when I first joined the club, yeah, I was always in there.
See, look at her. We kicked it. But Roogle he lived the real college life. The Commons area, it was like a different world, huh? Y'all
it was a different world. Yeah. It was a different altogether, yeah.
What did you experience that you'll take with you in college?
My degree. You
got your degree. Now that's a good thing. I had to go back. I ain't walk out, but I said, let me withdraw beforehand.
Yeah, but because it was real where I was at, because they before, like, all, like, you know how it is now, it's like the schools, they try to, if you ain't really performing and stuff, they try to like cut you off because they're getting in trouble with financial aid. Mm-hmm. But the school I went to, if you weren't, like, it was people who was there for their first semester who didn't come back for a second because they said we don't want your money anymore. Because you know what I mean?
Oh, because it'll show that the graduation rate.
Yeah.
Go ahead and shout out your school and your award.
Oh, Till College in Greenville, Pennsylvania, where I was the second annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Service, the second annual award winner. But
okay.
Yeah, but the thing was they was quick to be like in the beginning, they said, I don't know if all colleges do this, but we had an orientation, and they said, look to the right, look to the left. After these people ain't gonna be here, you might not be here either. Over the 4 years or something.
Oh, they doing it like that too?
Yeah, they did it like that. Like I graduated in December, and we had like about, I think it was 48 people out of the like a 400 member class or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
some people just leave though. Go ahead.
When I first went to college, it was fun, and I had fun. I had to go for me, but I will say with this generation now that I see, you know, the upcoming generation, and even like with my children's, their generation, they're all about college and getting their degree. My generation, we was all about college and having fun. Roogle, that was nice of you to do the right thing. Went to school. You went to school to learn. And I used to hear that too. What do you go to school for? The party? Listen here. I had fun in high school. I had a blast. And no, I didn't take too much serious, but I wasn't no F student either. And my thing was, you had to do this if you wanted to do that. And so I knew what I had to do. But I had a blast. I can't take it. I wouldn't take nothing back that I did because I made decent decisions. I made decisions based on my future, and I'll put it that way. If y'all want to do that, y'all go right ahead and do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to be tied up in nothing because I don't want the phone call, talk about something. Hey, can you pick her up? I didn't want that. You know what I mean? So you made your decisions wisely. Having a good time partying, I think everybody, I really feel like everybody should have the college experience. College is not for everyone, but everyone needs to experience it. Even if you go and visit, you know, you go to the dorms, and back in the day, $5, you was rich. You remember that, Roogle? But I do remember we watched Mark. Huh? How much money did you have, Roogle?
What you talking about for school?
In school. Did you always have money in school when you were in the dorms?
I had resources.
Ruggle's from the suburbs. Y'all, Roogle was bougie. $5, you was rich. It was like, what you got? $5, we got some chips. What you gonna eat? What you gonna eat? I was like, I'm going home. See, I wasn't too far. I knew where to go. I'm going home. And I'm going.
I was 4 hours away, so I ain't had no other choice but to make it. Shoot, it was Taco Bell.
I remember
that was after cafeteria and everything was closed. Taco Bell.
Listen,
I got so tired of Taco Bell.
What about that card? Roogle, did you have a card? The food card?
No, at our school we had a traditional cafeteria.
Yeah,
so
but
you just had to show like
you
didn't swipe. Yeah, you just had to show your ID, and you sat down like a cafeteria. Like there was no limit on what you could have.
Oh, see, now I was at YSU. Now CJ Claudia, shout out to you. She was at Kent, and ain't nothing like a Kent State party. I sound like a straight up party, but I did it. I got my degree. But listen, we would go down to Kent, and she was such a hostess. They had cards, and the cards was you can get what you wanted, like the a la carte or whatever, off your card, but you were allotted so much. Man, she would be hosting a party, ain't had nothing to eat. She'd be like, get what you want, Joe, get what you want. Next thing I know, she ain't got no money on her card. Why you gonna eat the rest of the month? Me personally, I wouldn't have done that. But I appreciate you hosting us to kick it to the YSU party, because they were able to go to the cafeteria after it was closed. But my daughter, the same thing, I think, with Court. She has so much on a card after the cafeteria was closed. Then you get to go eat something. But Roogle, you just stayed. Roogle, you're so kind. Look at you, so nice and just following the rules. You just went at the cafeteria times, huh?
I had resources.
He's saying resources.
And look how he smiles.
Resources, Nick.
I had resources. Yeah.
I
was, because I'm thinking back on it now. I mean, I don't know if I was that big of an eater during like off periods or whatever. You know what I mean? Like off times, like after dinner. I don't remember. I mean, I remember certain things like wing nights and stuff when wings was like 10, 15 cents. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I had resources, man. I don't know.
But you were stingy with a T.
I was when I graduated from college, I was probably about, I don't know, maybe like 210, 220.
No, 130.
No, when I graduated from college.
Oh, when you went to college, you was 130.
When I went, I was like, maybe I did eat more than. when I went, I know this for sure. I was like 165, and I left like 40. Yeah. So I had some.
You have resources.
I had resources. So yeah, I get the freshman 15, sophomore, whatever, and junior, senior, whatever. Yeah.
Bucket list. What was on your bucket list that you want to do? Or did you accomplish everything on your bucket list already?
Heck no. You know what? I really don't. The only thing that I could say that the two things that I would like to do, get a PhD and go to the Galapagos Islands.
All right, travel agent. Get with him.
Those are probably the two things that I would say I would want to do. Maybe some other stuff.
But that's pretty good. A PhD, so we can call you Dr. Roogle?
Yes. Yeah, and I would make sure that people did. I'd be like, hold on.
Doctor.
I'd be like, Snoop Dogg, what's my name? I'm telling you.
That's one of the things on my bucket list too. Because I'm going back to school, but yeah, I want to get to I want to get my PhD. So I'm going to be going and going and going, but I'm going to get it done.
Dr. Nick.
Yeah, my biggest problem with that is I don't know what I want to go for. Either that or a JD.
So is it the name that you just want? Dr. Dre why don't you just get a name change?
Just change my name? Does that have people to call me? No, I don't know. No, I don't know. You know, I mean, it was before I had a really academic kind of career path, you know what I mean? But like now, I'm just kind of like.
That you definitely.
That's a
good thing. Go ahead, hurry up and get it so I could call you Dr. Roogle.
Yeah. You know, I got to figure out what I'm going to go for though, because I changed my mind a few times.
So, but your degrees are in education?
Health and human services, psychology, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my field though has been in those areas though, in education and mental health and stuff like that, and healthcare.
I have a question for you. Since the topic of today's show is smile through your trials, when you were actually getting your degree, and well, actually, once you achieved your degree and you got into the workplace, into your field, were you disappointed with the pay, or were you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I was disappointed. I was disappointed with all of it.
Why?
Every aspect of it. Because the opportunities weren't available as I thought they would be. And I kind of thought, and often when I would do the work that I was doing, especially like when I was in Head Start working with doing male involvement, that kind of stuff, thinking like, well, I got to this point and I see what it is for me, and I'm being drastically underpaid for my knowledge, skills, talent, whatever, you know. How is it for the average person that's going through this without those particular things, you know? And so it was disheartening. I don't know, part of it was like, could have been the area, because I ended up leaving this area doing the same kind of work and almost got paid like 2 times the amount. So, you know, but the thing is this, it's always this difficult, this kind of this breaking in, trying to find a way, you know, because certain jobs, the career path I always had, it wasn't like there was a set standard of, okay, now you do this, you've been here this long, now it's that, you get this pay, you get that, whatever. You know, it's always you're always vying for your next position or wage based off of where you go, what grants you write, or something of that nature, right? So it could be kind of difficult versus like I go to a place, I punch in every day, and I've been here for this year, I get a raise this time. Because it, like working for nonprofits, a lot of times you're in a situation where you're like, okay, we got a COLA, you know, cost of living increase or whatever, and but we're going to use that towards healthcare. We're not going to give you a raise for it, and it's like 2% to begin with. You know what I mean? So you can find yourself, even though you feel like you're doing good work, you're not doing work that's well compensated. You're not being well compensated for that work you're doing.
Okay. My question, I got another one, and then Nick, I'm going to ask you the same thing, okay? Nonprofit, I want to piggyback on that. Nonprofit organizations, is it best to work for have you found, I'm asking your opinion, Roogle, have you found it best to work for a nonprofit or for profit?
It really depends on what your ambitions are. You know, I feel like when I worked in nonprofits, I feel like I had more creative, even though there's guidelines and stuff like that, I feel like I had more creative experience, more creativity on the job in order to be able to do stuff like, oh, I think I want to write a grant for this, right? And be able, you know, you could build upon it, right? But I would say money-wise, for profit, especially if you're selling something that people want.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's expensive because you can make money in nonprofit, you can, but it's kind of tough because you know because it's always about moving up the ladder, not just necessarily based off the merit of what you do in that particular position.
Now you said something, you were talking about like writing grants. So doesn't like your income, isn't it based off of if you get the grant or not?
Well, it could be based off that if you are in a situation to get compensated at that level. So there's been jobs where I've been at where it's like, oh, let me write in this administrative fee to be able to implement this grant, right? And so, well, who's the implementer? I am. So, okay, there's my raise. But if I'm writing a grant and I'm for a larger company and I'm working and I'm at the, you know, let's say I'm doing it from a coordinator's perspective, you know, I might write that grant, the money comes into the organization, but it's just monies to do the work that you wrote the grant for versus capacity building in some cases. It just depends on how the grant is written.
Okay. All right, Nick, have you worked in the field that you went to school for?
No.
Why is that? Did you change your mind along the way?
Well, yeah, I changed my mind a couple times. But yeah, what I've actually been doing now is like more or less, I'm trying to get into human resources, and then also with me doing computers, I was going to go back to computer science because I'm more so in the field of computers now than anything else, which I never thought I would be. I didn't even want to be bothered with computers at first, so that's what I'm actually going to go back to school for, like computer science, because there's a lot of computer jobs coming up, especially for cybersecurity, because we have so many hackers and everything. And cybersecurity is one of the number one jobs
So
that's
that's
coming
what,
up.
so
So that's what I'm
that's what
gonna
you're
get
interested
into.
in? So that's what you're interested in now?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go back to school for, and then I'm gonna minor in human resources.
Okay, now let's go back to the question. What did you go, let's
No,
start with this.
I
What did you go to school for? What did you go to college for?
initially out of high school, I went into pre-med.
Okay, pre-med. Okay. And
Yeah,
then you change your mind.
to business.
Okay, then
I don't like blood.
well, but here's the thing, you are doing your business. You got your own business. So,
Yeah,
and you
that's
keep
true.
doing it. So you're working in your field. Mine was education. I went in education, and after dealing with some people, I was like, oh no, I won't do good with these high schoolers. It'd be you know, elementary education, secondary English. I was like, oh, that's not gonna work for me. Not with the way things are now. And then I ended up changing into got the allied science. So there we go. And then I did my communications, and I like to talk. Why not do the thing? You know what I'm saying? I don't sing, I talk. So I'm actually doing everything that I did or wanted to do. My bucket list, I did everything on my bucket list except go to the prom with Will Smith. That's why I played
Okay.
Will Smith. Did you know that, Roogle?
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I sent a
So
letter.
was that the brand new funk Will Smith?
This was the Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sent a letter and everything. I guess.
And he didn't oblige. He was wrong. He was wrong.
Look, I'm like, it was way
Now
back.
he moved to-
Wait a minute, 1 second. It was way back then. I sent the letter and I never got a reply. Darn. So I just settled for John. I just will John peace. Was
You
like,
didn't even try for Carl.
huh?
Didn't try for Carl. I said you didn't even try for Carlton or Uncle Phil.
Never, Uncle Phil. Never. Didn't even work for me. Did not work for me. But I did complete my bucket list. All right, here's the Shop Talk question of the week. Let's move along. And when you hear this statement, what's your reply? Any female that pays her own bills is single. Go ahead, Nick.
I would not say that, because I mean, you have some bills that you acquired on your own. That I have some stuff that I acquired that I don't expect my husband to pay. If he want to offer to pay, I ain't gonna turn it down. But no, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, go ahead, Roogle.
The question was, any woman who pays her own bills is single?
It's under the Shop Talk question of the week, but it's actually a statement. Any female that pays her own bills is single.
Nah, I would say more or less no. I don't understand that. Because we've had questions that have told us that there's been women who've been in committed relationships who flip the bill for everything. You know what I mean?
She should be single.
She should be. She could be. Yeah. We tackled this question 1,000 times. You know, like, hey, is he paying what he should be paying, or all that other stuff? Matter of fact, what was it? Just last week, it was a question about I don't know if it was a question or a scenario about the lady.
The rent and
the mortgage or whatever. Remember that?
Rent the mortgage.
Yes.
She didn't tell the guy. She just said, "Hey, pay me."
Listen, as she should. By right, she did everything right, because he made an assumption, and that's crazy, because I'll catch you guys up. Last week, it was a young lady who was dating a guy, so she was single, dating, okay, and she never told him that she owned her home. He assumed that she was renting, so here you go. He's helping her pay her rent, but has an attitude when he finds out it's her mortgage. Why is that? You're doing the same thing. So my question would be, you're okay with paying somebody else, but you're not okay with paying me. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're helping me both ways, but when you find out you're directly helping me, there's an issue. He thought it was wrong. He felt that her omitting that information was a lie. That's nuts.
I mean, would he still help her if he knew it was her mortgage? I mean, because it still need to be paid. So that's what I was struggling with. Maybe it was just the fact that she never told him. I don't know if he felt like, I'm sure he would have done the same thing, but I don't know if it was just he more so because she wasn't upfront honest with him, or was it because he thought he was going to get a free ride? If you live in here, you're not going to get no free ride, period. So I was kind of on the fence with that. Yes, she should have told him, but why are you mad? Rent, mortgage, whatever, it still need to be paid. Was you still going to help? If you was still going to help, then shut up.
It seems like, to me, I'm with you, Nick. I felt like as long as you knew that you could potentially get put out, you want to pay. But when you either way, you're going to get put out, the mortgage versus the rent. So my thought was, what's wrong with his mindset? Go ahead, Roogle, you're a guy. You're a different type of guy, but go ahead.
A different type of guy. What I would say is, I just don't think that being a woman being single equates to her paying her own bills or whatever like that. I mean, the likelihood of any single person paying their own bills is high, but you know, I mean, especially if you want them on, you know what I mean? If you're gonna come home and have some electricity, some cable, then you better pay them. You know, that's the only way you can ensure it's done. Because you know, sometimes you got people that use their power or money to influence people's behavior. So sometimes you just gotta flip it. You gotta pay your own way, not to be corrupted. I'll put it that way.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, if I'm paying all my own bills, look at you smiling. Look, that's so funny. If I'm paying all my own bills, I'm single. I'm single.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I posed this up on the site, you know, so that people could respond. And I was truly outdone and amazed by the feedback that I got from the men. So the women were like, facts, you know, yes, you know, but the men were like, well, she need to have her own and she needs to do this and she gonna make a come up. You know, these are different people that were responding. She's trying to use me for everything I got. She expect me to pay her bills and my bills too. All of that is what I got from any female that pays her own bills is single. All of that rebuttal from making that statement. Why? Because here's the deal. Any female that pays her own bills is single. If she married, they'll split it. Or he may pay the bills, he may take care of, you know what I mean? But it's a true fact.
Well, I mean, if you look at the doctrine of Beyonce, pay my automobiles, bills, pay them. She wasn't married at the time. She wasn't talking about being married and pay my bills. She was talking about doing whatever she wanted to do.
No,
and have somebody pay her bills.
No. She didn't say pay them. She said, can you pay them? Can you pay my automobile?
Can you pay?
Can you? That was a question. Can you?
Okay.
Okay. Look, I'm like, can you? Now, if you can, then here you go. Because let's look at it. When you're a single woman, let's break this down. Not forget, but we're gonna pin that. Usually, single women, when you're out there, I'm just gonna spill the tea. And Nick, you can spill the tea from prior to your marriage, okay? We usually have, not that we're sleeping with everybody, you have your lawn guy, you have your food guy, you have your utility guy. Roogle is shaking his head. You have different people that come through for different things because someone will come and help you. But when you get a man, and they might not even be anybody, like I said, you're not even sleeping, they may be your friend that's coming to help you. When you get a man, that man is expected to do what 1, 2, 3, 4 men were doing. Now, can you, back to the Beyonce, can you pay my automobile? Can you pay my all the other bills? Bills. That's all.
And she said, but she also said, I don't think you do, so me and you are through.
You do, so you and me are through. See, here's the thing. If you cannot do all of those things, then you're not the guy for her. Because you got to step up. Now let's look. We're Survivor.
She a top 100 top Billboard artist. If she don't ask me for nothing, nobody ask me for nothing.
Nick, you want to spill the tea now you married? What do single women do? How do single women survive?
If they like me too much.
Huh?
If they like me too much, you got a friend for this and a friend for that.
Y'all wrong.
Listen, it's okay. Tell me. Go ahead, Nick.
But when I got with one who automatically just started giving me money, oh, you want to go get your hair done? Here you go. You want to go get your nails done? Here you go. Oh, you need help with your phone bill? Here you go. That one I made my husband, and that was number 2. Number 1 wasn't about nothing.
Wait a minute though. But exactly, that's the point that I'm making. So when somebody they like you, it's not that you out there using them. It's just like, oh, okay. Our mindset, we like, okay, this one can provide for me. So
right.
one guy commented on the site that I'm not doing for her. I ain't providing for her. Well, wait a minute. Is in a husband, you're looking for a provider. So guess what? You're off my list. And why is it that we are called gold diggers when we want somebody to provide for us? We are not.
Because I think the issue with the gold digger is the intent of the relationship. And I think that with the gold digger thing, the intent is only to get money, not to be in a committed relationship.
Well, so what is a high price prostitute?
Hey.
Well, it depends on, because that people doing everything for $40.
Your word's not mine.
High price.
Nowadays, you can.
Yeah.
$40. Who came up with that? Some dude, and some chick said okay, and then now they making it popular. You got $40. Don't come to me with no $40. Talk about something here.
Listen, sometimes I ask my husband for some money, and he come handing me 40. I just look at him like, man, try again.
Listen,
he finally
joke. Is that a joke? But see, you're married too. But these
right.
girls, I think that some of the younger ones, I don't know what happened before. Maybe, they say history repeating itself. Maybe back in the day, they used to do something strange for a little bit of change and go $40 on a nightstand. Get your life.
Right.
And to me, it's not even, they're so callous with sex now that it's just like, oh, it's just sex. Before, that's like major. Because once you give that away, you can't get that back. You cannot get that. You done gave this person this, they got it. They know what it's like. You can't get it back. That's just like in a relationship. There's a mission. There's a goal. Guys have goals, and I'm not saying that it's just sex, but I'm going to say it is. And then you have a woman who has a goal. Oh, so tell me, from a male's perspective, Roogle shaking his head no again to the listening audience. From a male's perspective, so is it you're in a relationship because of you need someone's personality, companionship? Is sex not a thought from a male's perspective?
I think sex is a thought from a human perspective. Women like to get it on too.
Well, now they really do, but not a lot. Because
I always they get one to get. I always.
Want to put out. They always want to put out, Roogle.
There's not been a stop in the woman's libido. There's just been this idea of how women can express themselves sexually. They get, if a guy, if he has lots of women, he's a gigolo, whatever, player, all positive, woman, hoe, whore, whatever, all that negative stuff. It's all, the libido is all.
Go ahead.
It's always been there. It's just how society wants to accept a woman who is free with her sexuality.
Okay, that made it sound real good. And accepting for everybody. No.
I had one guy tell me, once we do that, we go together.
Once we do,
I was like, for real? Like,
but that's it. Once you were like, oh, okay, some people feel that way. My thing is, if you're with somebody over 3 months, if it's less than 3 months, is a theory. Y'all heard me say that before. Your theory, if it's less than 3 months. Don't be going around talking about we go together, we dated, we did nothing. We talked on the phone.
Nothing.
We talked. And I realized that is not the one for me. Deuces, I'm out. Don't be talking about we dated, we did. No, we did not. No, we did not. Call it a day.
That's what I'm saying. I had one. What we, met or whatever, click vibe. We did. Listen, he came to my house. He was like, we go together. I was looking at him like, we go together. You get this away to somebody else, I'ma hurt you. We go together. I was sitting there going,
look,
like with a whole bunch of crazy.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
no, he wasn't crazy though. He just like to cut up and have fun. But we actually did date for a minute, and we still good friends though.
Y'all went together. You was like, okay, we go together. It was that easy, Roogle.
We go together. Dating for a minute. I don't regret it. I don't regret it. We're still friends. We're still really good friends. He's like one of them fun-loving types that you just want to be around. Okay. He is silly, everything. So, but yeah. But as far as being the Marion type, No.
Now, see, I wouldn't want to marry, when you said that, Roy, you brought up a valid point as far as how people look at things. As a guy having a lot of women, he's considered a gigolo. As a female having a lot of men, she's considered a hoe. Don't nobody want a hoe, a male hoe either. I don't want to take you to the family reunion and all my cousins that slept with you. Get out of here. I don't want everybody knowing what you are like.
Right.
But like, oh yeah, I know what that's like. She thinks she got something. I need to
exactly.
I need to put you on a pedestal. I don't want you down there. You know what I mean? I don't want you
either that or everybody know what it's like and they still trying to get it.
Listen here, it don't even matter. I don't want nothing nobody else had. I mean, I don't, you know, I know you didn't drop straight from heaven and say, here, boom, you know, brand new. But no, I don't, get out of here. Because you might be a scholar. You might need a trophy. You know what I mean? And they be like, oh yeah, I know how he was. And you be sitting there, you eating your potato salad, and they over there like, yeah. No, bye. I'm like, do you know any of these people? Okay, I am that person. I don't want you if you've been with everybody. Bye, see you. I don't care about if we vibe. If we vibe, boom. But who wants somebody that actually try to talk to everybody too? Get out of here. You want to feel special. You want to feel special as a female. So do guys have that? No, they don't care. And I'm saying,
I wouldn't say that.
Look, and
I'm
saying that.
That's not true.
Look, I'm like, and I'm saying that from a guy's perspective. Do y'all care? No, y'all be like, oh, okay, yeah, she can't be my wife, but I'll smash.
I don't know if that's the truth. I think
explain it.
What do you mean explain it? I mean, I just kind of feel like I don't know. I mean, I think you come to a point where you're like, well, when do you let a person's past be their past if they want to truly be with you in the present?
Now
you know what I'm saying?
That's really nice, and I'm glad you said that. That's really nice, and I'm glad you said it and said it that way. Yes, let your past be your past, but when your past is affecting your present, there's an issue.
Right. I used to hang around a lot of dudes and hear a lot of they talking, and I would ask questions. Some of them didn't mind. It was certain females they'd be like, "Nah, man, she cool. I wouldn't mind." Then there's certain females like, "Yeah, dog, I had her. Go ahead, you smash that. I know you smashed that.
She do this and she do that.
You get you something. Yeah, you know, and be explained. I be sitting there going, y'all like talking like I ain't hear all the niggas. You like one of the boys, whatever.
And that's how it is. That's how it is. Guys do, they talk.
So then when I see that certain female, I be sitting there looking at her like this.
Yep, I have more.
What's the matter? Nah.
Like I already know. Yeah. I have more male friends than I do female friends, and they do just talk. And I'll be like, man, I ain't gonna be that one they talk about. Like, get out of here with that one. So y'all know who.
I don't know who talk more, us or them.
So tell me this.
Y'all.
You got somebody don't know. See what I'm saying? I need to go to another country. Don't nobody know nothing about nothing. So you ain't gotta ever worry. Right. Lucky you.
Lucky who?
Lucky you. I need to go out the country and just grab somebody and be like, oh, okay, well, I know y'all didn't, but then they come over here and run them up. Because you got people, you have people that will actually seek out to find somebody that you talk to just to, I don't know what to, just to say they talk to them. I don't even know. I mentioned who I went to the prom with. I'm about to tell you this. I mentioned who I went to the prom with, right? Why did people reach out to him? Why do people reach out? They reached out to me for him. Who is that guy? Is he single? I'm like, oh my gosh, the thirst is real.
Right. Like, what if we was going together?
But I was really surprised. I said, I don't know if he's single. Like, what the heck? It's interesting how people will seek out, especially with social media, they will seek out the people. And that's why I said that with Facebook a while ago, I was saying, who needs what are they? Plenty of Fish, Christian Mingle. Facebook is actually a dating site. Yes, people will slide into your DM or they say
Don't
direct
care if you married or not.
for those who don't or inbox. Would you say, Roogle?
I was gonna say, but the attempt when you have people like that on Facebook, it can be kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, because the intent of a dating site is to date. You know, the intent on Facebook is not necessarily that. It can end up being that, but that's not the intent. You know,
or the intent is to try to catch somebody up and screenshot it and post it on your page. How about some? Look at him, this guy married. Well, why would you even entertain that individual? Like, why? Why would you? You know what I mean? Why would you entertain that individual? Why don't
Some
you? Some
people just like drama.
I'm thinking so because if somebody's in my inbox and I know that you are married and it's inappropriate, we can stop it. You can actually say that's inappropriate. You could block them. You know, there's options instead of taking a screenshot and posting it. Or somebody like me will be like, listen, this is inappropriate. And if you do this again, boom, I'll let the world know. You know what I mean? Or just warn somebody. And if they continue to do it, then they don't care. But to just deliberately put, you know, say something like that, or not even say anything, post something like that, I think that's terrible because you got to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is, yes, they may be married. No, they shouldn't be in your inbox that way, but they may have children. It's a whole nother animal. What are you actually doing? And it may be just a compliment, because some people can't accept compliments. They'll be like, oh, or a friend request. I know somebody who friend requested a female, and the female said, well, why they friend requested me? They're married. Everybody don't want you.
Right.
It's like, okay, I see we have mutual friends. Hey, how you doing? Just because a male and a female, and I request your friendship and we're the opposite sex doesn't mean that I want you. What do you say to that, Roogle? And then I'm gonna ask you, Nick.
I say that's absolutely true. That just because you're kind to somebody doesn't mean that you want to be with them. You know, it's funny. It's funny that you should say that, because it reminds me of a time where it was somebody I knew. I just happened to see them in the store, and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they was acting all crazy. I was like, I was just saying hello. That was it. You know what I mean? There wasn't nobody trying to, like, there was no follow-up question. There was none of that, like a second statement, none of that stuff. They just look like, oh, no, I didn't like that. And actually, I've seen that happen a few times to other men who had no intentions on trying to talk to the woman. They would just say hi, and then the lady take it to the ladies in these situations took it to a whole nother level of escalation.
What's your thoughts, Nick, from a female's perspective?
Yeah, just because somebody, I don't think that. Even before I got remarried, I didn't think that, oh, okay, you might know me because we have so many friends, mutual friends, or because of the bike. Because I got a lot of people that I send requests to because of the bike world when we riding bikes and in clubs and stuff like that. So I have a gang of male friends and everything. Ain't not one time have they tried to, or if they did inbox me, was, hey, how you doing, sis, or whatever. Then you have those that are just going to be horn dogs anyway. But no, just because somebody send you a friend request don't mean they're trying to jump your bones. Get your life.
Okay.
They might be trying to network.
Right. Just hi. I just found it to be interesting that somebody thought that. I'm thinking you are cutting yourself off from everything. And just like you said, network. And I just have to put this out here for my young ladies. Everybody is not trying to make an advance at you, young ladies. But when you post booty pics, when you post boob pics, and then you have the nerve to say they're thirsty, well, what are you serving?
You thirsty because you put it on there.
You are, and to me, that's advertisement.
Right. That's the kind of attention you're looking for. So when you get it, then you have the nerve to get mad. Again, get your life.
Now, I will say, and I'm going to tell you something, it is advertisement, and there's some trickery to it. I have a friend of mine, and she's overweight. And she would take her profile pics, and she would always do headshots, shoulder shots, you know. And when she met this guy on Facebook, he came to see her. He traveled. So when he got to her door, she was standing at her door, and her screen door, you know, just, you know, waist, you know how screen doors are. It wasn't a full glass. She opened the door. He had no idea that she was that obese. He came to visit her. This was the meeting to the house. He was coming to visit her. He left. When he saw her, he didn't even come in. So she was devastated. But I said, well, what were you average? I said, he didn't know. And guess what? He went, I don't know if he stayed like at a hotel or whatever, but then he went back to Texas. But here's the deal. You have to, yes. For the listening audience, Nick is like, wow.
I know he was mad.
He was very upset.
I know he was mad.
He was very upset. And all the shots were head shots. And, you know what I mean, head and shoulders, whatever. But he didn't know that she was as large as she was because she didn't show that. And to me, you know, when people respond certain ways, how can you be upset if this is what you put out there? Let me put it that way. If she didn't body shot, it'd be like, okay. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because her situation, they were talking on the phone, all was well, but he didn't like what he see because men are visual. Then you got these people who post booty pics and they want to be respected. You respond to what you see. Booty pics, and people are commenting on your booty, and then you want to say that's disrespectful, but that's what you're posting. You know what I mean? And then you have your boob pics out or barely have anything on, a sheer outfit, and they talking about your body. And every time your conversation, and that's another friend of mine, the conversation that you have with these guys, they always want to talk about sex. Well, that's what they see.
Right.
Now, if you want to portray something different, do your headshots. And then your conversation will be from the heart, I believe. What do you think, Roogle? What you got to say? I didn't see you want to piggyback. Go ahead.
I just think that some of these things are stereotypical viewpoints of what people perceive men to do. I just think that ultimately, whoever you are,
that was a man in Texas. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of feel like some of it is just women being better. I shouldn't even say women. People being better at selecting who they want to be with, engage with, date with, and all that other stuff. Because it just, like, when I'm hearing this, it just sounds like, well, this is a memoir of a whole bunch of losers. You know what I mean?
Right.
A whole bunch of people that probably wouldn't be worth the time anyway.
Right.
Not necessarily, you know.
I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, Roogle, what's happening in the movie world?
All right. Well, I will tell you this. I just had the opportunity to catch up on Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery is on CBS All Access, so it is a paid site. However, I watched the first season, got away from it. The second season was done, watched it all over the last couple of days, and started the third season. Excellent work. It's a really good show. I think people should tune in and watch it. If you're a Star Trek person, you'll really truly like it. The last season introduced Spock, because this is a story of actually Spock's adopted sister, who was played by, what's her name? I can't think of her first names. Martin Green is her last name, but she's African American. She was in the Walking Dead for a few seasons. I forgot who she played in The Walking Dead, but anyway, she's doing really great work with that show, and I'm sad that I'm caught up because now I got to watch it week by week until January. So that sucks, but it'll be worth the wait. It'll be my little something on Thursday nights. I think that's when it premieres. Now, there in the movie world, there's a show called Bad Hair, which stars Ashante Adams. She's going to join Michael B. Jordan in a movie called A Journal for Jordan. So Journal for Jordan is based off of the a person that was killed in the Iraq War, who was writing down memoirs for his son, who was 7 months old when he died. So it's based off of that piece there. The show Black Hair is actually on Hulu, and it's basically about a woman who gets a weave that takes on a mind of its own. It's a comedy horror show.
Wait a minute.
It's a comedy.
Wait. It's called what?
It's called Bad Hair.
Bad Hair. And it takes on. Yeah. Well, we know a whole lot of bad weaves and wigs, honey.
Well,
bad eyelashes too.
The premise is terror strikes when a woman's new hair weave seems to take on a life of its own, and it's a comedy and horror. It's a comedy horror, and yeah, it's a movie, and the runtime is 1 hour 42 minutes. I haven't seen it yet, but that's out there. Last week or a week before last, I talked about the 40-year-old version. If you remember that show on Netflix, the movie or whatever, did check it out. I thought it was entertaining. It was a little bit too long. It was kind of Spike Lee-esque in the sense of how it was shot, but a really good thing. And basically, it focuses on a woman who was a playwright, a successful playwright in her 30s, and now she's in her 40s, and she doesn't have the acclaim that she once did. And so now she's looking not only to break back into writing, but to rebrand herself, and so she becomes a rapper. And then as she starts to rebrand herself as that rapper, it starts to influence her work in a way that she didn't know it would. And so she has some success, and then she challenges that success based off of how it makes her feel intrinsically. So I think it's a good watch. It was entertaining, and it kept my attention. Again, I thought it was a little bit too long. I think the runtime was 2 hours and 4 minutes. I think they could have got it done in maybe about 1 hour 45 or less, but it was good to watch. It was a nice little feel good thing there. Also, our dearly departed Chadwick Boseman, the next movie, or his last performance that we have from him, is in a movie called Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's based off a play by August Wilson, and he'll be in that. And it's based off of a blues singer in the 1920s who is having some issues with her white manager. So we'll see that rendition when it comes out. It should be supposedly hitting theaters in December of 2000. This December 18, 2020. One thing I wanted to correct from last week was I talked about Coming to America. It was actually, I don't know if I made this clear, but it was actually purchased by Amazon, and it will be available on Amazon. So I don't know if it'll have a theatrical release or not. I would assume that they would probably put it in a theater just so it would be eligible for awards or something like that, because I would think a movie of that magnitude may get some nods for best costumes and things of that nature. Not to mention that performances could be Oscar worthy as well, but sometimes you win those technical awards and stuff like that when you have things that capture not a new culture, but a culture, or pushes the boundaries of what the costume should be. So we'll see what happens with that. And so last thing I want to talk about is, since we're so close to Halloween, I wanted to come up with some movies I thought people should watch for Halloween. Now you guys you can all chime in and add into this, but I think some people should look at these particular movies. I would say Friday the 13th, the original one, and Friday the 13th, the original one. Then the Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one. A lot of this list, I want to be like the original one, the first one. Fright Night, the original one, if you remember that show. And then
yes.
Yeah, and then Creep Show. If you remember Creep Show, when the lady hits the guy with the car and he comes back, he's like, "Thanks for the ride, lady. Thanks for the ride, lady."
So say those four again. Say those four again.
Okay, A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's the Freddy Krueger, the original one. Then Friday the 13th, which is the original thing that spawned the Jason franchise. Reason I picked number one, I don't know if I can I give a 40-year-old spoil alert?
Yeah, go on.
40 years, yeah.
Yes, yeah, he wasn't the original killer. So I think it's good because it gives that twist to it.
Wasn't the mother the original killer?
She was indeed. Yeah. And I didn't want to, yeah. So that's out there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, she did. Told it all. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So
I mean, look how old the movie is. If they didn't know that by now, that's something wrong.
But the younger generation didn't know. They would have went back.
May not.
Yeah.
Because because sometimes they reboot the stuff and they don't really, they just go. Every time you see a new one, it's always focused on Jason, and not, she was the one that was originally like, hey, yeah. So the original Fright Night, if you remember that movie. The only thing that always got me with that, it was a vampire movie basically, but the thing that always got me like with that was when the girlfriend had got turned into a vampire and her mouth opens up real wide. Even though I watch it, I don't know if it's like nostalgia that makes me feel like it's really creepy, because it doesn't really look all that great, but it's a nice film. I like it. The original Creep Show, again, that was I believe Stephen King wrote Creep Show and then they made it into a movie. I'm pretty sure it's one of his properties. But yeah, there's a scene in there where it's a movie that's made of anthologies, and one of the stories is a hitchhiker who gets hit by a woman. I don't know if she's multitasking when she drives or whatever, but she hits him, she doesn't stop, and he sort of haunts her. I can't remember how it ends, but I remember we would always say, "Thanks for the ride, lady." Then there's Get Out is on the list. Phantasm, if you haven't seen that. Anything?
Oh, I remember that.
You don't remember Phantasm?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah, that was really, yeah.
That was out there.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead, finish, Roogle.
Get Out, anything Black Mirror. I mean, it's not necessarily Halloween, but it is creepy as all hell. If you ever watch Black Mirror on Netflix, it's Halloween worthy. I can't go without saying that you got to watch that Charlie Brown Halloween, or was it Happy Halloween, Charlie Brown? Was that the name of it?
Yeah,
The Great Pumpkin.
Oh, The Great Pumpkin. Yeah, you got to watch The Great Pumpkin. I forgot the damn name of it. But yeah, you got to watch The Great Pumpkin. And then Seven to me is like really disturbing. Yeah. If you remember that movie, Seven. And then one of my personal favorites is Sleepy Hollow, with starring Johnny Depp. I love that movie. It's about the Headless Horseman and that sort of thing. I really enjoy that movie. And one of my favorites that will also show up in December is A Nightmare Before Christmas, the Tim Burton animation. Well, I don't know if it's claymation animation, but one of those mations. It's about Halloween wanting to take on Christmas, as far as like, hey, we can do Christmas, and you see all the hijinks that happens with that. So yeah, that's my list.
All right. Well, I'm not a scary movie watcher because I'm so scary. Mm-hmm. Scariest video of all time. I'm still scared of Thriller. Vampire in Brooklyn.
Was well done.
Vampire in Brooklyn was a scary movie to me.
Really? It was funny to me.
It had its moments.
Now I noticed that you put Get Out on there. You put that on there as a scary movie. I told you that. My son, they was like, that was scary. Is it because it was such reality? It was.
A part of it was definitely built in reality, as far as like, hey, you can have people kidnap you for whatever their purposes are. Not a whole brain body switch thing. That's the stretch. But the whole thing is just being like, I hate to Sometimes it's being black in America is a horror movie. You'd be like,
Right.
oh, I don't know. And I think this kind of encapsulates that whole experience in a sense, so yeah. Plus I wanted to give Jordan Peele a shout out too. I mean, because I liked Us, but I prefer Get Out better. More, I should say. But Us is creepy as shit too. I'm sorry, I know the cussing, but Us is something too. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, I hear it then.
There you go. Y'all missed the bell. Y'all missed the bell. Hey, listen to this. I finally got this lipstick thing under control. I was like, now it's not all on my teeth. Cheap lipstick, don't do it. When they give you samples, don't do it. And the little Avon, this is way back. That's what I get. The little tiny little Avon color samples. Don't try them before you get ready to do something. I thought it was a cute color though. See how long the stains look on there, but it was on my teeth for a long time. I finally got it under control. Ding. But listen, it was driving me nuts. I'm like, this lipstick is like, you keep being there. What is going on? All right, listen.
Avon is a fine product.
Avon, look, Avon is Avon, Allorel, and was it Mary Kay? Let's shout out. Allorel is a makeup line or skincare line too for women of color, all color, that a lot of people didn't know about, and that's Allorel. Let me see how you A-U or L, I don't know. Allorel. Sound it out, but it's got a U in there. Look, I'm like, sound it out, it got a U in there, but it's Allorel. That's for women of color. I use the skincare product though. So shout out to you, Anna Harden. Okay, let's give her a shout out because that's where I get my stuff from.
Nice.
But I didn't get this cheap lipstick from there. I'm telling you, it's like Play-Doh. They made it out of something. Like,
what you got? What you in the Halloween costume, Alex?
Don't remember that? Yes, I got that. That's that.
You get the vampire teeth, and you get the red. You get the red, green, black, and white.
Yes, it's like that red blood to be stuck on there. I don't know how long this gonna be on my lips for, but it's probably gonna be there for a long time. That's that cheap. Look at me. I'm like, I'm puckering my lips. So it's like it's still like stuck. It's still on there. We'll see how long it is. So stay away from cheap lipstick. It's almost like a matte. Matte is back.
Yeah, it is.
Color, when we're talking makeup, is back, and that's how it's that before the high gloss. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about some trials that we had and how we could think back and laugh at those trials, and without being the victim, reading the role of the victim. Okay, so I'm going to do this, incorporate this. I did this on Be Inspired yesterday. I'm incorporate this as my Q-tips. Okay, my Q-tips and reading the role of being the victim. And the way that you read the role of being the victim is saying yes to your life experiences and say, okay, here we go. Trusting again, even though you deal with something different, being vulnerable and understand that that person didn't do the same thing to you. Smile through your trials. Look back at what you've actually gone through, and you can laugh at it and be like, did that really happen? And again, I'm going to say yes to your life experiences because we learn and we grow from those things. If you feel like somebody hurt you, if it was a parent, grandparent, ancestors, you want to be a good citizen in society, demonstrate the best part of them. What you remember best about them, their best qualities, and incorporate that in today's society. And always remember that you are not inadequate. Okay, you have the tools to do whatever it is you want to do. So Nick, I'm talking to you as far as you going back to school. You figure out what it is and do what it is that you need to do. You already had the tools. You're in your right mind. Make it happen. Say I can and I will, so you can complete your bucket list.
Right.
That's the goal. That's our goal. Make a bucket list and complete it. And then once you finish those, you can add more to it. I completed everything in my bucket list. I'm excited about it. And I did everything I wanted to do. I just put it that way. I'm sure there's more that I'll enjoy because I will definitely say yes to life experiences, okay? And enjoy things as I do them and accomplish more things. But I can actually say I checked off all of my things on the bucket list, except Will Smith. Now I don't want to go to the prom with the new Will Smith. I'm not feeling it. Why you shaking your head, Roogle? Look at him and Nick.
What you gonna do?
In the new Will Smith. Jada done broke him down. She done broke him down.
With them entanglements.
Hey, I'm like, y'all even look the same. He was nice. He had that little swag. He was like the ideal guy. You know what I mean? You know, if I could make the ideal guy, I would say God-fearing, of course, you know, Christian God-fearing, a little hood, a little roughneck I need a little bit. I need a gentleman. I need like a hip-hop, all that together. Like hip-hop, roughneck, gentleman, God-fearing. That would be the perfect guy. Oh, and rich and generous. That's it. That would be.
I would add one more, but I would add one more, but I can't say it on here.
Yes, you can. Oh, and functioning.
Functioning in a rather large package.
Now you are. Roogle shaking his head. If you could have the ideal female, what would you? Oh, I don't like the short guy either. Go ahead.
I don't even know.
You don't know.
Whoever would reach my heart in the most significant way.
Not.
That would be.
Look at him. He's
He's so nice today.
That is well received. So
dangerous.
He's a nice female before he was married. Let me tell you, he used to sit over there in the corner and be like, oh, look at her personality over there.
Because see her personality radiating across the room.
You should be a poet. You should write cards.
You know what? I wanted to write cards for. I actually applied for a job with American greeting cards before. And
why don't you do your own brand?
You know what? Because I didn't think of that.
There you go. Right here, you heard it. Right here. Shop Talk with Mel. Ruggle's getting ready to start his own brand of cards. The thank you cards. Thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing.
There you go. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
That can go both ways. Thanks for nothing and thanks for nothing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look, it was a wonderful night. I will truly look. I can't unsee that.
I can't. It was a wonderful night. Here's your $40.
Now that's a good card.
$40 on the nightstand.
That's a good card. All right, let me tell you. I'm going to give you an example of my smile through my trials that I actually incurred. I had surgery done, and at that time, it was a major surgery that I had done. And I guess, I don't guess, I'll tell you. I guess the surgery was supposed to be a few hours, but it ended up being longer. Me being in the medical field and knowing that, this is different. I got somebody outside the room pretty much watching me. What's really going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is she out there? But anyway, long story short, I was experiencing some issues because I couldn't feel my feet. So it was a young nurse out there, and not that I'm opposed to new grads. I'm not opposed to new grads because I too was a new grad nurse a long time ago, and somebody gave me the opportunity. But this young nurse really got on my nerves. Let me tell you why. She got on my nerves because she was outside the room and she was talking to the janitor all about her boyfriend issues. They having a conversation. I'm saying, excuse me, trying to get the attention of her to let her know I can't feel my feet. Something's going on. So she's talking to the janitor. They were having a great conversation. Boom, 30 minutes go by. I'm like, listen, this is serious, you know. So I finally get her attention. Once I get her attention, she comes in, and instead of listening to what I had to say, I guess she thought she was helping me. Now there's a device called the PCA. What the PCA does is anesthesia, and you push it, it looks like a call light, and you administer your own medication. Well, guess what she did? So I'm getting ready to tell her what's going on with me. And what she does is she presses the button. So this is what happened, Roogle. I go to tell her what's going on, and this is what happens. She pushed the button. I was like, can you? She put me back to sleep. So then I wake up again. She comes back in. She puts me back to sleep. finally, you know, my mom comes in the room, like, help me, please. But there was a housekeeper that came in. I guess she was getting the trash, whatever. And I'm telling her, I can't feel my feet. But every time the nurse comes, she keep pushing this button and making me go back to sleep. So then what ended up happening is they were able to see that something was leaking or whatever. And I genuinely couldn't feel my feet. And she's like, well, I'm gonna get you in the chair. No, you're not gonna get me in the chair because I can't feel my feet. I'm gonna fall. And see, me having the background, the reason I state that, me having the medical background, I know you don't want your patient to fall. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm a nurse just like you. You don't want your patient to fall. I'm telling you, I can't feel my feet. You're not going to move me from the bed to the chair. Mind you, I'm in ICU, okay? And when she came in, when she pushed my PCA, pushed my anesthesia button, she was on her cell phone. Stop. So I'm like, this is like the worst experience ever. But now I look back like, is this for real? Because if it was on a movie, no lie, if it was on a movie, I would be rolling. The lady coming in there like, psh, just put you to sleep. Like, I don't feel like dealing with you now. Let me put you to sleep. I don't think that was the case. I think she was just answering for me. That's what I believe. I believe that she actually was answering for me. It was like, she must want some pain medicine. Let me go ahead and push this. Don't assume. You have to listen to the people. So that's where I was at. And now I can look back and say, that was tragic for me at that time. But I got through it and now I can laugh at it. Have you experienced something that you were upset with, Roogle, at the time, and now you can look back on it and laugh?
I can't really say that I can. I was thinking about, because usually, I mean, I could laugh that I was so angry, but not laugh because I thought it was, well,
share, what do you mean? Because you're smiling now, what happened?
Talking about the hospital makes me think about that. There's been times where, like, people around me, I've had some service where I thought, like, this isn't right. And I've said some things about it. I remember, and I had some family members that were like, hey, you need to chill out because these people have to take care of you. And I was like, they don't have to do shit. I can leave right now.
No, let me ding that.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'll leave right now. It doesn't matter, And when I laugh back on it because, like, it always makes me believe that you got to be your own advocate, because people who have good intentions for you may not be willing to press the envelope or push the envelope like you would for yourself, not press.
All right, go ahead, Nick. You have anything that you experienced before that you really ticked you off and then you could think back and laugh like, is this really happening? Did that really happen?
Oh, Lord. Be several things. Anytime I'm somewhere thinking I'm cute and I fall, that's tragic. Wait a minute. Yeah.
You fall.
Yeah, how often do you fall? We need to take her, should we get her evaluated?
Yeah, you might need a walker or something.
The night before I got married.
What?
We was big dudes. I'm tore up, two my girls with me, and I had my little.
Oh, you weren't even ready.
I'm walking 1 minute, and the next minute I was on the floor. But guess what? That cup, they was cracking up. That cup was up like this. I didn't spill it. It didn't go nowhere. They got me up. Everybody knew I was tore up. They could tell.
But that's
if you weren't. I had my little sash on. I was mad because I was embarrassed, but afterwards I could laugh about it. I had another instance where I left my walking past the light in the bar, and the little lights in the window, like the little Miller light thingies.
Uh-huh.
And I had a real big puff ponytail on, and I was leaving because I had to go get my husband from work because his car was in the shop. Walked past that light, and all of a sudden I felt the breeze on my head. I turned around. My ponytail was hanging on the light. That was embarrassing. I was mad, but I got in the car and I cracked up. I called my friend and told her. She's like, "What's the matter?" I was laughing so hard I was crying, but yeah, I was embarrassed and I was mad as hell. I was like, I need to do something with this light.
So, wait a minute. So they had the Miller light sign to snatch your ponytail?
Yes, it did. And then when I turned around, my ponytail had the nerve to be swinging. you a
Wait,
G.
you went back. Oh, you went back after you went and did what you did?
I sure did go back in there. As soon as I dropped my husband off, I went back and continued to drink. That dude was like, you a G, and the other one was like, why do you even have that in you? All that hair you got on your head, you still got to, because I had one of big puff ponytail. He was like, all that hair you got in your head, you still, I said, because I'm not bald headed and I like variety.
But wait a minute. So you went back to the club and put your ponytail back on after everybody had seen it. You just went
Oh,
on.
I put my ponytail, no, I put my ponytail, as soon as I felt that it was going, I turned around, seen it swinging. I snatched it and put it right back on my head. Everybody was looking, and walked right on out the door. And then after I went, got my husband, dropped him off, I went back to the bar.
Now listen.
I had a drink that I asked somebody to hold for me.
Listen. I'm gonna put this out here. Don't ever leave. Don't ever walk away from your drink. I gotta say
Well,
it.
the barmaid had it.
Right, I got you. Now, Nick, you done fell down. You done the bar done snatched your ponytail off. You fell out at the bar. We got a common denominator. We got two common denominators. You got another one? You got another trial that happened at the bar?
Yeah.
See?
This one I fell and jacked my knee up again, but I was walking across the street. Don't ask me what I fell on. I think my ankle twisted. I twisted my ankle when I stepped on a rock. And listen, the both times that I fell, I had on these particular shoes. Needless to say, and they still brand new, them bad boys is in my closet. I don't put them on again.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with the drinks at the bar.
No.
Okay. All right, so it was the shoes.
Well, not that time that I fell.
Okay.
It slid across the street on my knee.
Oh.
The day before I got married, it did. I was tore up. But still, them 2 times I had them shoes on. I'll never wear those shoes again.
Okay, well, you better get rid of those shoes, and we're gonna keep you uplifted.
Exactly.
Right? Roogle, you wanna add to Nick Du Bois? What's happening with Nick Du Bois? She got 2 common denominators: the shoes and the bar.
The shoes and the bar. Hilarious.
The shoes and the bar. What you
In
think?
other words, stay out the bar. That's what it's telling me.
That might be it, or it might be like, make sure you get your ponytail on tight. I mean, anytime the bar signs is snatching you up, ponytail.
Bar sign snatched her up.
Snatched it right off my head. And I was thinking I was cute too.
But I know the club she's talking about when she said happened at that place. I laughed at, yeah, that's crazy.
You know the place?
She said big dudes, right?
Yeah, because I was coming from one side past the point, and you know when you that little incline to get on. Yeah, but I bet you I was holding my drink. It didn't spill.
Look at her talking about it didn't spill.
I was holding it.
And I gotta say this: don't drink and drive. I know y'all heard her testimony, but I'm gonna say don't drink and drive. I don't want y'all drinking and driving, and always have somebody to walk you to your car, because who knows if you might fall.
Right, exactly.
On a rock. We don't want that to happen. Roogle, you had an experience at your job being the only male.
Okay.
And you were in that meeting, and I want you to share. I was hoping that was the one that you talked about. You were in a meeting and the lady was speaking, and she thought that you were hostile or wasn't paying her any attention. And you were
no, that wasn't even at a job.
Was it?
No, that wasn't it. That was I was a guest of someone else's to meet with this person who has some clout, right?
Okay.
So we're there listening to her spiel, and I'm just looking at her, listening, and she just stops the meeting and says, "What, did I say something that you didn't like or something like that?" And I was like, and it's so funny because the way we were set up was like I was the last person in the room, right? Like I was the last person at the table. It was only like 4 of us. And I actually looked back to see if she was talking about somebody else. You know what I mean? And I was like, she can't be talking to me. You know, I do one of these. And I was like, no, I was just listening to what you were saying. I had no opinion was formed yet. I was just listening, intently listening to you.
And she thought that you were not interested in what she had to say, or
I don't know what she thought. Whatever she thought, it was negative.
Because you were
whatever she thought, it was negative.
You were listening intensively. So
yeah.
So did you have your hand under your chin?
I can't remember. Maybe I can't remember. I don't think so though. I might have. I don't think so. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I was resting like this or anything like that. But I was just like, just looking, and I was like, man, I'm glad you ain't judging me. You know what I mean? Because if you looking at people making a decision, making concerns about how they feel just off of the way they look at you, and you're talking. That was the thing. It wasn't like she was just in the room and I was just looking at her like I can't stand her. I'm there to hear what you have to say. It's only 4 of us in the room.
Only 4 of you in the room, and she points you out, and you're listening. Well, thank God you weren't interrupting, because if you started talking while she was talking, then you'd be disrespectful.
Well, I obviously my face was disrespecting her.
Wow.
I just got that kind of look, right? I mean, it was a complete shock, because it was like, it was so weird that it happened. It was just like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? And it was, it was one of those things where, I just said, like, I don't know, I'm just listening to you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't make any face or anything like that. Nobody farted in the room, nothing like that. I was just looking, But yeah.
Interesting.
Now, I don't really laugh about that one, just because of the
That's one of those things. Like, me personally, I would look like maybe she was crazy.
Well, but that's the thing. But the position this person holds, it really made me think a lot about how people are sometimes perceived when it's not their intention. And if you have a certain power over people, that can be dangerous.
And right, you need to have an open mind.
Yeah.
And that's sad, because that is them making it, that's their perception, and you didn't say a single word. So that's their issue.
Not a word. But just think, if this person was making a decision on your behalf.
And so what do?
Sometimes you can't do nothing. What you gonna do?
You know what I mean? Say?
Like you have people, yeah, like it was like, I remember, it was something that happened before, but just some certain things, how people kind of perceive things, and they like, well, this person may not be interested because of it. Like, if somebody, like, for example, there's certain people that get mad if they're talking to you, even if they're giving you instruction and you have your arms folded.
Well, guess what? That's a personal issue with them. And see, my thoughts would be, if that's somebody who holds power, I'm not going to kiss your butt. I'm not going to do the alleged, what was it, Christopher Williams thing to P. Diddy to get a record deal, get your life. I'm not doing that. My thing is, maybe that's not the position for you, and that person has a problem. Now, if you perceive me to be one way and I haven't even opened my mouth, that's an issue. And if you are in a position of power and you feel like, oh, okay, well, I think that they're doing this, you cannot think for other people. People have to stop thinking that they can think for other people or know what other people are thinking, which ties me back to my situation where the young girl came in and PCA'd me and put me to sleep. You can't assume that this is what this person is thinking. You have to ask and be open and talk to the person. Now, if you don't want to argue with somebody, now what if you would have sat there and said, if I could segue into this one, if they perceived you as not being interested in what they're saying, and you saying you were listening intensely, all you had to do, you know how you could have shut that down, and instead of the thought being on you, got up and said, that's why people laugh at you, and walked away.
That's why people laugh at you.
That's why people laugh at you.
They be all paranoid whenever somebody.
Right.
Yeah. It was a lot of ways I could have went during that time, but
don't do that at home, people. I'm just saying. But if you don't want to argue, just say that. Be like, I see why people be laughing at you and walk away. Go ahead.
No, I'm just, yeah. That would have made him paranoid. But it was just, it was more or less like, because the thing was, when I say I was listening to them, I was looking directly at that person. So sometimes we caught eyes because, you know, when you're speaking to a group of people, you know, your eyes kind of bounce to people or whatever, you know what I mean? So, you know, it was like, I'm just looking attentively at what she had to say.
Okay.
And that was the thing.
All right, let's move on to the next one to be up out of here. Last topic of actually, it's really not, but let's hurry up and speed through here. What's your feelings on somebody parking in front of your house?
I get a fire hydrant in front of my house, so go ahead.
Oh, lucky you. Go ahead, Nick. In front of your house.
I used to have that happen all the time when I lived in Farrell. My next door neighbors, her family would always park in front of my house, and we'd have to park across the street, and I would be snapping.
Oh.
From now on, listen, if I don't have no personal driveway, if you parking in front of my house and I can't park in front of my own house, your car is getting towed.
Well, guess
I live
what?
here, you don't.
Well, guess what? The car can't be towed because you don't own the street.
Yeah,
but they parking it, and I can't park in front of my house.
Yeah, that's I need to mention that too. In this area, most people have driveways. In some places, people don't have driveways, and I can see how that could be a problem. But
you gotta walk all the way down the street.
Right. All the time, and I used to be like, listen, y'all park down here.
Yeah, I never
park down here. Don't park in front of my house. Me and my husband got to park here.
Okay.
I never understood why that area, a lot of that area is made like that. I never understood that.
Well, like, you have New York, you have like people that live downtown, you know, you just hope that there's an empty parking space.
They have to keep riding around until they find one. Listen, I don't live in no heavily traffic area like that. I ain't about to keep riding around the block.
But what if you have a party? Like you have, like y'all know, like I'll have different things at my house, and it'd be packed. What if the neighbors come like, can you tell your people not to park there, not to park in front of my house because of this? When you have events, it just happens. But here's the deal: you don't own the street, so that's it. You just hope. Maybe you could put one of them signs out there. No parking, and then take it out.
It happened. I'll tell you a quick story. It happened to me the other day. I parked and I was doing some walking, but I parked in front of this one house, and I was on my way back. But then this guy started walking down the street, and he came up to me. He's like, "Is that your car?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "My landlord doesn't like people to park in front of the house." And I'm looking at him like, "You must be crazy." I was like, because what I said to him was like this. I said, "You know what? I'm sorry, I didn't see a no parking sign."
Right. And that's
there is no parking sign, but this guy wanted to make an issue about my car being parked in front of his house.
And that's something we have to realize, that we don't own the street. All right, let's talk politics real quick. Ice Cube, D.L. Hughley going at it back and forth. D.L. Hughley has something to say about Ice Cube. We talked about what he went to speak to President Trump about. And D.L. Hughley, I'm paraphrasing, pretty much said, this is me paraphrasing, that leave that to the people that know what they're talking about. Did you catch that interview?
I heard what he said. He was like, why are these people having conversations with the guy who made 3 Friday movies instead of like doctors, lawyers, educators, and all that kind of stuff?
Right. And I thought that, but here's the thing. Just because I do Shop Talk with Mel, and you're like, oh, okay, well, she might, have a degree in communications, don't mean I don't have a degree in something else and I don't know what I'm talking about. You have people that actually can give knowledge, and everything is not a piece of paper. Everything is not a piece of paper that you're talking about. You may have experienced some things that can share your knowledge with people. And here's somebody that they don't know. Well, I'm sure you guys know I'm an NWA fan. Ice Cube is very intelligent. And just because you know him from NWA or the Friday and all that other stuff doesn't mean that he doesn't have the intellect to talk to somebody or give an idea to somebody. And that's what we have to stop doing. You know, we have to stop saying, okay, what we think people know, they don't even know him. Like, y'all know me, so y'all can come and see the degrees. The other people, they don't know. You know what I mean? But to say, okay, well, you don't have any input because you don't have the paperwork to follow. I know some people that is local and they got the paper and they don't know what the heck is going on. Like, get your life and stop making stuff up and stop lying and stop smiling in people's face and then talking about them behind their back. Just be 100. But D.L. Hughley was 100 and he said it, boom, and Ice Cube clapped back. And go ahead and elaborate, Roogle.
Well, I mean, Ice Cube said that he was consulting with someone. I forgot who he said he was consulting with, but whoever the person was, they're sort of a good person to consult with, I guess. The problem, okay, this is the thing I would say, is that I don't know if it was so much about Ice Cube having a plan and all that stuff, as it was the way that everything was presented made it seem like it was an endorsement for Trump. I think that was the catalyst that kind of pissed everybody off. Was like, you know, so but the thing is that I'll tell you this, I don't know if is the plan available for people to read? Because I can't find it. I tried to look for it. I couldn't find it.
I couldn't find it either, even last week when we talked about the issue with Ice Cube and they were thinking that he was endorsing because they were talking about 50 Cent was, well, you know, 50 Cent is endorsing Trump allegedly because of the tax issue.
Yeah, 50 pence.
Yeah.
He's what?
50
they call it
pence.
50 pence. But 50 Cent, rapper, yeah, they're saying that he is, but nobody's paying attention to 50. You know, do what you do. I think that people should be able to vote for who they want to vote for. Ice Cube made it plain. He was on Fox Soul with Claudia Jordan, and he spoke about it. He said, it's not that. I went to the Democrats too, and they said to wait until they see, you know, who wins the election. And the Republicans wanted to hear him out. I couldn't find it either. Roogle,
we don't know what was in that plan. Like, you know, I mean,
what was in that plan. But let me, for Ice Cube's sake, let me say this. Let me be fair. He did say, he said, he put the middle finger, he said, get the F out of here or something like that, allegedly. Like, that's not what he's saying. Somebody took a picture. There's a picture of 50 Cent and Ice Cube, and they changed the logos on his hat. He was upset about that. He was like, no, I'm not endorsing. This is what I'm talking about. He said, I presented it to both parties. So I just want to put that out there. And no, he's not saying that he's endorsing Trump, but they're using it for their benefit. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, how it can be implied is the Democrats who say that they're for you wouldn't even hear my plan until after they took power, versus the Republicans who want to hear it right away. You know what I mean?
But like, that's because he's there in office now, though. That's how I took it. I took it as.
I understand that, but I mean, but he put that out there like that. You know what I mean? Like it should have been like, hey, I presented this plan, and regardless of, I presented this plan to everybody. Like, you know, so right now you got a plan that you want these political groups to endorse or embrace, but like the people you wrote it for, I mean, like I said, I haven't been able to read it. I don't know where it's at. I don't know what it contains, you know.
If you're able to catch Claudia Jordan Fox Soul, he goes into detail on that, and he also explains himself with Cuomo. I always say the name wrong. Oh, CNN, is it CNN? Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to read it. I don't want to.
You don't want to hear what he has to say.
I want to read it. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's available for me to be able to read, somebody please send it to me. I want to read it.
Okay. All right. What else you got with the politics? I heard
It was a debate.
The Republican Party in the area, Tracy Wimbush, she was talking, and she was saying that Biden is living in the 20th century, and Trump has brought us back to the 21st century. And then there was someone who pretty much said, matter of fact, I'll say, shout out to you, David Hood. He had posted that America is not ready for a Black female president. So he thinks that people won't vote for Biden because they think that he won't make it and Kamala Harris would end up being the president. Do you agree or disagree?
I think that that's this ridiculous talk, but that could be somebody's thought. I mean, early on when Obama was running, people was like, I don't know if I want him to be president, he might get killed. Well, I'm like, well, let him die then. If that's the case, you know. I mean, let him get president. Nobody wants him to get killed, of course, but the point is like, don't let him miss out on the opportunity because you think what might happen, where it's kind of like baseless, you know. The other thing with that is, how can someone say that Trump is living in the 21st century when he says make America great like it was in the 1950s? And who was it great for? It wasn't great for us, you know. It wasn't great for us. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, you cannot say, especially when you have not introduced no plan at all. The question was, one of the questions that he was asked was, well, what would you do with healthcare? Or no, it was about the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, if you will. And he was like, I hope the Supreme Court strikes it down, and then we'll put in something. And it's like, well, if you have an alternative, put it in now. You don't need that law to be stricken down for you to do something that you need to do, right? And he hasn't done that. Like what's his plan for no platform has been introduced about what the future holds under a Trump administration.
What?
No information has been given. What do you want to do for healthcare? We're going to make it great. We're going to make it better. We just need to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
How?
But how? Well, what's your plan? What's your plan to handle existing conditions? Doesn't talk about it. You know, what's your plan with the economy? Doesn't talk about it. All it is tax breaks for rich, and the only thing he wanted to do because of COVID, he wanted to do something with our taxes, which would have made us end up paying more taxes. He wanted to cut our payroll tax. It would have made us end up paying more anyway. Like a whole bunch of like ridiculous things. What
stood out most to you during the debate?
I didn't watch this last one. I didn't watch this last one.
All right, Nick, what stood out most to you during the debate? Did you catch it?
I was asleep because I had to go to work.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you what stood out most to me. What stood out most to me was the fact that he said, I am the least racist person in the room. 45 said that.
Why he lying like that?
Listen,
well, first of all, we don't know who was all in the room.
Listen, but here's the thing though. Saying I am the least racist still states that I am a racist.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like, is anybody listening? Just like the debate prior to that. They said, can you denounce white supremacy? Mm-hmm. And the response was, stand back and stand by. So now you have, in my mind, I have stand back, stand by, and I am the least racist person in the room. So you had him, and you had, but I don't know who was in the room. He said it was dark, but it doesn't even matter. So you're forgetting or not listening to what he's actually saying. And
right. He did not say, I am not a racist. I am the least racist person in the room.
Right. But the thing is like this. Who is the guy that he's looking at and saying like, oh my God, I'm racist, but I'm not that racist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because he's the guy who said it was
exactly. My point exactly. And it's like, are we omitting the subject? Just like before. Yeah. Here we go. Can you denounce them? Stand back and stand by. That is not a denouncement. That's saying, when I give you the word, then go forward. Okay? Then is I am the least racist in the room. Well, you just told me you were a racist. You said you are the least racist.
Instead of saying, how racist are you?
Just like Nick said. What'd you say, Roogle?
They should have been like, how racist are you? Let me ask you this question. Do Black Lives Matter?
Well,
somebody should ask it flat out. This like we don't care about police officers. We're not asking you about any other group of people. We're asking you, do Black Lives Matter?
Listen, you ain't even gotta go that far because they asked.
Oh, he went off.
And he's never he always responded but never answered. And see, that's my thing. I'm listening to what you say. I hear what you say, and I'm listening to what you're not saying. I'll put it that way. I don't even need all of that. Let's deal with the basis. Let's deal with the root. I am the least racist in the room. Look at the sentence, just like that sentence that I asked before. Any female that paid her own bills is single. Look at the sentence. All that extra stuff and rhetoric and changing the narrative, we don't need all of that. I'm listening to what's here, and this is exactly what is here. And you have to listen to what they say. They say guys are easy. And I'm going to say why guys are easy. Guys are easy because you guys say exactly what you want. It's us that put all the flowers and everything on it. You say you want to spend the rest of your life with us. Listen to this. You say, a guy will say, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. We got the wedding. We planned the wedding. We did all that. You never said, I want to marry you. You just said, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. We make the meaning out to what we wanted to be. And that's what's happening here. And I got to close the show. I enjoy you lovely people. Look, Roogle got something you want to say. I'm going to let you say. I'm going to let you say it, but vote for who it is that you want to vote for. Please vote, vote, vote. I choose me. And even if you don't like the candidates that are in office or that is running, you got to choose you, and you have to hear it. And anytime that I feel personally that stand back and stand by, like, okay, my life doesn't matter, just like Roogle said, you know, he used that as, that's an organization. My thing is social injustices. Please, can we be done with social injustices for everyone? And again, I will say over and over and over again for those lovely people that say all lives matter. If all lives mattered, there would be no reason or no purpose for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Exactly.
All right. And today's footnote, I guess that could have been today's footnote, but I'm going to give you today's footnote to the lovely people in the topic of today. You are not inadequate. You have all the tools, just as I stated earlier. All you have to do is set your mind to it and say, I can and I will. And again, always choose you. And hey, I am a grand auntie, a great auntie. What is that a thing? Congratulations,
great,
Jason. What is that? I'm a
great auntie.
A great auntie. Roogle, you know what that means?
Yeah. You're better than a cool aunt. You're a great aunt.
I like it. Yes. That's it.
So who had a baby?
Preston.
Oh, okay, great.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Woo! I need to have my sound effects on. Look, I'm like, I need to have my sound effects. Let's do that one more time. Say congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay for baby Carter. I hope that was the baby's name before it was born, but y'all know how I do it. I had baby names picked out, and then once I had my children, I was like, they don't look like that. I changed your name. But baby Carter was the name. That was the name as of yesterday. Hey, listen, that is my time, lovely people. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. I love you guys for listening. Find you, embrace you. Most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people. Right here on your Spreaker.com. Hey, listen, if you want to donate to the channel, the information is below. We truly appreciate all donations. And I just love you guys for listening and tuning in. And share with your people. If you enjoyed the conversation, share, right, y'all?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. That is it.
Yeah.